Hi everyone, and welcome to this month's new moon. Now I'm so excited about this new moon, and also the theme of this new moon vibe is all about focusing on love and not fear. Because you have seen now what fear can do to our society. You know, the actions, the reactions from people, whether it's in or out of your personal dynamics. And we also need to come back and refocus on what really matters, which, of course, it's our ability to move on from what has been happening. Especially, of course, after this past year, I don't have to tell you that. But also remember where our focus has been lately, which, as you know, is now probably not love, but rather fear, stress, lack, and also feeling out of control. And this new moon is now asking us to come back to our senses, to our natural senses, which, would normally allow us to actually make clearer decisions, right? It kind of makes sense because if we need to make a decision and we are really truly connected to our true authentic self, then we're coming from a place of authenticity and not from superficial or this artificial fear that's been projected onto us, or perhaps from past triggers where we see something in our environment and it's triggering something that we felt previously in our life as well, and then bringing up all this rush of emotions that's connected to the past and not necessarily to our reality. Now also we want to start to act more from a place of compassion and also self-compassion, not just about other people, because the beginning of July to mid-July was more about us as a unity. It was more about us as a whole. But as we start to move into the later part of July is kind of like coming to a close where, okay, now our energy and focus have been with other people about reuniting, reconnecting, but now it's also moving back to reconnecting with us as well, meaning you as an individual. And this month we will also be called into reuniting with each other again, like I said, but the focus is going to be a little bit more on us as well. Because as you know this, the more we focus on fear, the less we are connected to ourselves and to each other as well, because there's no trust. And if there's no trust, there's going to be no support, no connection, no love, nothing, nada. Right? It only makes sense. Fear counterbalances love at the end of the day if it's energized too much. And ultimately, it takes dream work to make a teamwork. I always tell my team members in my company, if to build something great, it takes a team. You can't just always do and create that on your own. Even if you are a successful business owner, great. But who helped you to put that business into place? You had to hire, experts to do certain things that you couldn't do. You perhaps needed someone to give you advice where you felt stuck. That's your team. So guys, it takes teamwork to make a dream work. And that's kind of exactly where we're going to be finding ourselves at the end of July. We're going to have to start to learn how to be a team players again. We're going to start to have to learn how to work together and to support each other instead of barking and yapping at each other for absolutely no reason. It's like a dog that is scared. They bark normally because they're scared, even though there's nothing to validate how they feel. And we don't want to become stuck in that loop. We need to start to break that cycle again. Because, trying to survive and function as well on this dysfunctional path alone, it's going to be impossible. And we are also genetically designed to coexist within supportive groups, not separately, right? Not separately as individuals. And of course, we are also connected through the electromagnetic fields that's generated through the body, through our consciousness, that's stretching and also connecting throughout the quantum fields. Now, some of you might also have challenges when it comes to focusing on love. I just want to touch on that a little bit because we're not quite complete with that part yet. You might feel challenged when it comes to focusing on love and not fear, because you might have negative associations with love, meaning that the way maybe that you were introduced to love during your childhood is now perhaps, showing up. The evidence of that old wounded pain could be showing up, because this new moon and July has also been calling us to start to break this pattern, right? We need to break this pattern because we need to start to move beyond the limitations that have been placed on us by life and also by our past. So if you know that you have a negative or a traumatic association with love, now's the time to start to look at that. Now's the time to start to heal that. And what's really interesting as well is that this physical trigger points that we're going to start to have come up in the body is the stomach, the breast, the womb, the ovary. And you're going to start to feel there's a lot of mucus also in your body. Well, that makes perfect sense because it's all going back to childhood. Stomach is normally our relationship with our mother. It is our relationship with our family dynamics at an early age and what our experiences were there. Because July would have triggered a lot of those dynamics, bits and pieces, not necessarily specifically, but it could make you feel that you're going through similar circumstances, even though the situation itself presents it something completely different to what you went through in your childhood. But yet the emotional reaction that you have is very similar. So that's what I'm referring to here. So you might feel that stomach, flaring up a little bit from all the stress that we've probably been through a little bit through July, and feeling like I just don't want to emotionally digest this crap anymore. I just don't want to be fed all this drama, this nonsense, everything that I just don't want to be dealing with anymore. So you might feel your stomach flaring up a little bit, maybe some nausea. It could be stomach ulcers. It could be anything. It could also be that worrying feeling like you have at the pit of your stomach as well. So all these aspects can be triggered, and that's also showing you that the new moon is calling us now to focus more on love rather than fear. And if you have stomach problems flaring up, if you have breast issues flaring up, or the womb and the ovary, then know that you are now dealing with aspects of your past that is now coming up, that has been triggered by July as well. And of course the build up of moving into July as well from the beginning of the year. But now it's really coming to like a threshold where it's hitting that threshold point where you're like, I've had enough. I don't want to stomach this anymore. I just don't want to nurture all this drama, this crap anymore that doesn't serve my higher purpose. I just don't want to give birth anymore to all these negative, toxic thoughts that I'm feeling. I just don't want to be held back by my creativity, to be held back by all this drama and all the superficial control and everything that's going on, and the list goes on. You just don't want to deal with that anymore. So the pattern of these specific areas in your body that's now flared up, showing you that we've had enough. Time out. Completely time out. It's one thing to emotionally or subconsciously try to suppress something, but your emotional body, it doesn't play the game that your mind can, where you can ignore, it's not there, no, it's not there. No. The emotional body is very different. When it reaches its capacity, because what happens is, when it reaches capacity, we finish that part first, it's going to let you know, right? So consciously we feel the feelings, we feel the emotions, we can suppress to a certain point. And when that threshold is hit, your cup is going to run over, and it pours and it runs over into the emotional body. And that's when the emotional body and the physical body, they have a much louder voice than your thoughts. And they're going to let you know when they're uncomfortable. They're going to let you know when they've had enough. And that's exactly what's happening now. Also, perhaps look at, because there's a lot of mother themes coming up. It doesn't mean that you are a mother. It doesn't mean that you're going through, mother trauma or issues. But what's rather going on is that it's showing you, look at how you are showing up in your life in terms of being a leader for yourself, in terms of being a guide and a support for yourself as well. And are you coming from a place of fear, or are you coming from a place of self-compassion as well? Because that's really what is called for during this time. So guys, having said all of that, let's start our healing meditation. Okay, so take a nice deep breath. And now let's start the meditation. I invite you now just to again focus on your breath. Feeling the air coming in. And also feeling the air moving out. Feeling how your body is absorbing and taking in every single cell that you inhale. And also exhaling what you no longer need. Feeling, hearing, seeing and sensing a beautiful light from your head flowing down, 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 down. Through every single cell in your body. Calming you, healing you. And just flushing out stress from the day that you had. Just draining any old stress, fears or doubts that you have. Perhaps you had conflict during the day. Just let it go. Let all those voices and all those old memories, just let them just drain out of your feet. Just down, 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 down. Down into the earth. And just allowing yourself to have an awareness of how you feel. Just have an awareness of you. And as you're focusing on your breathing as well, I invite you now to hear, feel, see, or sense a beautiful ball of light above your head. And it could be the size of a basketball above your head. You can give it any color of your choice. And this light represents your consciousness. And I invite you now, as this light is above your head, allow it to drop down into your mind and let it pause there. And as it's pausing there, I invite you to think positive thoughts, loving thoughts, loving ideas and concepts. Whether they're real or not, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that it generates that beautiful, loving feeling of love and that loving emotions. We want to stimulate that. Holding those beautiful positive thoughts. And allowing that now to gently, that thoughts, those intentions from the mind to drop slowly down into the heart center. Allowing that beautiful ball of light just to gently, gently, gently drop down into the heart. And we would like that beautiful ball to come to rest in the heart area. Because ultimately, we don't just feel love from the heart center. The heart center's electromagnetic field is also 5,000 times stronger than the mind. And allowing now, with that awareness and these beautiful positive thoughts that you have, in this beautiful light in the heart center that you have, feeling with every heartbeat pulsating outward, allowing this light now to expand and expand and expand. Allowing it to expand as far as it wants to, it needs to stretch. It can expand even across the world, across the universe. Just pulsating through every single heartbeat. That beautiful light is just running in beautiful waves and ripple effects from everywhere in all directions, stretching as far, far beyond this planet. Holding those beautiful, positive thoughts. Those beautiful, positive, loving emotions in your heart. Feeling how the universe is just carrying and supporting these beautiful, pulsating waves, welcoming what you are sending out. Feel how you are being received. Because what you are projecting and pulsating outward is what's needed right now. Allowing those beautiful waves just to continue to flow. When you're ready, you can also take a nice deep breath, just to also bring yourself to your sense of centeredness and yet remain focused also with your senses on your environment and these beautiful waves just pulsating outward. And when you are ready, you can allow this beautiful flow just to continue to just flow outward, knowing that through every pulsating beat of your heart, it continues to send these beautiful signals of love, of connectedness, reconnection, without losing any of your energy, knowing that your body is multifunctional, your consciousness is intelligent and multifunctional. handing over this beautiful process to your heart and your consciousness. Taking a nice deep breath with me. Just bringing your full focus and awareness back to me, back to in the room, following my voice, back into the here and now. Also just allowing this beautiful light just one more time to flow from your head, down your body, down out your feet, anchoring you back into the earth. Allowing you to feel balanced and grounded. When you're ready, you can also start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, giving yourself also a nice stretch. Feeling the surface beneath your body. Knowing that you have just been part of such a beautiful movement in reprogramming the electromagnetic field and the quantum field with love. Allowing other people to receive that, feel that, and for their electromagnetic fields to respond to that. Waking up that beautiful state within them. Because we're all connected after all. Thank you for joining me. And until next time.
Hi guys, thank you for joining me, and remember to grab your copy of Metaphysical Anatomy on Amazon, 679 medical ailments. And I also wrote about the psychosomatic root causes of that, and I'm spoiling you because I even added key points for you to start looking at important questions that you can ask yourself to start improving your quality of life. And also remember to catch me on Instagram, Evette Rose 1 with the digit 1, and Metaphysical Anatomy on our Facebook fan page. Bye guys!